Hi everyone, it's Mich here, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. And if you are returning, one of my crafty friends and kindred spirits, thanks so much for hopping on today. Today's going to be another week in the Collage with Mich weekly challenge that I put out. Well, this is the second week. And if you do want to know the information, you can email me. My email address is in the description box below, or you can find out information on the Mich Crafty community group in Facebook. There's really no rules. I started it as a Memorydex Rolodex, and that's kind of how I'm going to continue on with it. However, you guys can use whatever medium you want. I know there's been some really great, you guys have been sharing some really great stuff, tags, journal cards, the Rolodex cards as well. So I'm just loving seeing all your creativity. But let's get on with today. So today the prompts were study and border. And I don't know what I was thinking when I put the study down, except for the fact that I've studied all my life. So, but let's get started. So I'm going to do the Memorydex and the Rolodex. There's probably going to be a break, and I'll do the Memorydex first, and then we'll get on to the Rolodex. Hopefully it's not going to, the video is not going to take forever. So I'm just going to set the Rolodex aside for now. And with the border, the prompt, I did go ahead and make, I just took some of my cardstock and I just, not those ones, but I made a bunch. I took a bunch of my border dies. I have this ready. Let's get this out of the way. These are just other ones that I've cut out for later. And I just took a bunch of my border dies, which are these little metal things here, and my border punches. So I have a number of border punches like these. And I just went ahead and made some extras. So I just went along and just made used the border to put a little kind of decorative edge on the top of my cards that I'll just stick in my Memorydex file, and I'll have those to play with later on throughout the challenge, and they'll all already be done. So today this is the border that I had. It's supposed to be like a little notebook edge. I'm not really sure I'm happy with this, but even if little pieces of these tear off, it just makes it look more authentic. So we're going to start with this, and then what I thought I would do is just do just a little bit of stenciling. Now my front is going to be pretty busy, so I really don't even know how much of this is actually going to show through, but I just thought that I would take some of my distress oxides and just go ahead and just put a little bit of background, and I'll wash these later. This is an acrylic paint, so I don't actually have to wash my stencils straight away. And then I want to put just some little words. I'm using frayed burlap. This is Vintage Photo. And I can always check and see how that's coming out. If it's not dark enough, I can add more. And I'm just using my silicone mat. I don't even think that this is going to show, to be honest. But it's just nice to play a little bit. This is all about playing and using your creativity. And I'll tell you, you guys are full of creativity. That is for sure. Okay, and then this one here I'm using is Rustic Wilderness. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Okay, and then over top of this, I've just pulled out a few of my stamps. So I'm just going to put this away for now. I might need these for stamping, but I'm not going to do any more blending, so I'll just put those out of the way. And then, so when I think about study, I've come up with, for me, two themes. So for my Memorydex, I'm going to go about it. The theme is actually study, studying. I have a few degrees, not that I'm bragging, and, so I've studied a lot in my life. and it has just been a really large part of my life. So I thought I would dedicate this to actually studying for something. And even in crafting, not that I actually study, but I look things up. Sometimes I research things over the years. You know, if I don't know a new term or something, then I'll look it up. So that's been really big. But with the Rolodex, my theme is more going to be a study of nature, like a field study, because with my Rolodex, I want it to be more, I guess, along the lines of a vintage theme, or that older type papers and stuff. So for this is going to be study. And I pulled out a few of my stamps that I thought might be appropriate. I've got a piece of stamping off paper. I always stamp off first, just so I can see how this is going to go. So I guess this is backwards, because if I want one, two, let's just stamp it. I'm not sure how this is going to come out. We'll see. Is that? Oh, that's because 1, 2's down there. Okay, and I got this stamp at, I think I just got it. I'm not sure where I got it. So I'm just going to ink some of that up. I always like to stamp off, and then I will stamp, and I'm thinking I'll stamp about here. And this creates a little bit, I guess, of a border or an edge going across the middle of the page, and I really like how that looks. And I could do more, but I've got some other stamps that I want to use. The other stamps that I was thinking is, I got these line stamps. So Michaels has some new stamps out, and this was one of the stamps. I think it was $14.99, but I got this actually with a coupon. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put some lines there. So that's my other stamp. And then I've been looking at this stamp for a long time. It's Tim Holtz Documented. And I felt that another big part of my study life was going to the library. I spent a lot of time in libraries. And I just kind of thought that this would, oh, I love that. That's luscious. Okay, so then we've got that, and then maybe, actually I think I'm going to put a border along there too. However, I think I'm going to just put a little something down there. And what about, I know what I'm going to do. I got, at Christmas time, Michael's had these block letters on sale, or they had a buy one, get one free sale. And so I picked up these blocks that you could get buy one, get one free. And I got, like, these ones here are the lowercase. So I got a lowercase and an uppercase, all for the same price. Okay, I do like that too. All right, let's put the stamping away. So I've done a little stamping of the background. Now, if you wanted to distress, which I don't really want to with this particular card, then you can, do all your distressing. So I went to my images and I found a bunch of stuff that I thought would work with this collage. The first thing is I took my border punch, and in the summertime I was painting my deck, and on my deck I used this really thin paper with masking tape on one side, so it kind of protects a big part of the thing that you're painting. It's very thin. It's very, very thin. And it's almost like a deli paper type thin, but of course it's brown paper. So I thought that so I saved the little bits and pieces. I also had this image of this owl with some books and a little magnifying glass. And to me, this really represents like study. So I cut that out, and I'm thinking that I would do a little border with this on one side of my little owl guy. And I'm thinking maybe to make him, maybe cut that a bit smaller. And then I found this sticker that I thought I could use sort of on the other side. But I do kind of like that background. So I also pulled out these, which are border stickers, because I thought that that would look good in the background. And I went to the dictionary. I have a dictionary page. I cut out the definition for study from the dictionary. And what else do I have? I have a couple bits of washi tape. So I have some, this is like formulas and rulers and just some grid paper. The other thing I did is I bought a while ago now a math book at Value Village for $3.99 or something in the reference section. And what I did is I scanned this, and then when I scanned it onto my computer, I then edited it so it was all just in grayscale, so there was no blue and stuff. And then I printed a page out on my coffee stain paper. It's funny because I can't put my coffee stain paper through my Epson Eco Tank. It just will not take it. I don't know why. But I have a black and white laser and it prints it out really fine. So I thought I might use maybe bits of this to go onto my background as well. So I have that. And I just have a couple other stamps there. So let's see what we can make of this. I'm thinking about putting this kind of down. I don't even know. My fingernails have all chipped off. I was out working in the yard. Bobby and I were trying to do some raking. I'm not really sure that that is going to add anything to the collage. So I might leave that out. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to layer this somehow. I'm going to put him in here. Maybe at an angle. And if he's at an angle, I don't care if he goes out over the edge. It's fine. And then maybe put that in there. I have this sticker, which is like a clipboard. And I've used a lot of clipboards in my life. And then I've got this sticker, which is an oval, which I'm thinking might be cute. And I have this feather. Now this came from Ruth. So let's figure out how we want to do this. Now if you're into distressing, you might want to distress around the edges. The other thing I thought I might use is the girls for my birthday gave me this washi tape book. And it has a saying here that says, don't let your dreams be dreams. Do what you want. Do what you want to be what you want to be, and not what others want me to be. It's hard to read that. And I thought that's really appropriate for, you know, a good reason to study and to better yourself and work towards what you do want to be. So I thought that I would put that in that saying there, in that thing there. All right, so let's figure this out. So I definitely do want to put this border on this side because I think it just adds a little bit of something. And if I decide to cut this a little bit smaller, then that's fine. Okay, and then I definitely probably not going to use this whole thing, so I'm going to cut it in half. After this video, I am going to do a collage to send out to somebody. And I decided that when I do these little mini collages, I'm not going to do it like on the Rolodex. I'm just going to do it on, you know, just because not all of you are doing the Rolodex or Memorydex. So I felt there was too much of a border on that. Yeah, that's better. And then at random, if you're doing the collage, let me know. And then at random, I'll just send out. So I'm kind of thinking, I do kind of like that. And that's green, and this is green. And then if I was going to put, does it need washi? No, but I am going to make this just a little bit smaller. I love that image. That so sums up things in my life right now. Okay, and then do I want that on top of the clipboard or underneath it? What I think I'll do for now is just get the middle of this down, and then I can decide, even up a bit, and then I can decide what's going to go under and what's not going to go under. Do I want this to show as the edge? Nope, I think I'm happy not to have that. All right, and then is this going to go over top or is it going to go underneath? I think I want it to go underneath. So I'm going to cut it, or I'm just going to go like, just going to go like that. I hope everybody had a, I don't know if you all get a long weekend for Easter, but if you do, I hope you had a nice weekend. If you don't, I hope you had a nice weekend too. Okay, and then I'm thinking, I'm going to put that under there, but will it, what if I pull that down some, like so, just that it peeks out some there. And then that can go over top. Come down, up. I think I'm gonna just take this, and it is a sticker, but if I take all the backing off, I'm just not, it's just gonna stick on things and I'm not gonna be able to position it, so I'm just gonna glue it like so in the background. And then, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. I do want to get the definition of study in there. So maybe like that. And then I did have this that I could put right across the bottom as another kind of border. I do kind of like that now. I did want to see his little toes. I think I will put that down. So I'm going to take, because I can always put it a little bit lower and then just cut off. I could do it like right here. And then just cut out my holes there. Okay, oops. And then cut that off. And save this little bit. Okay. And then that. Okay, so I think so this is a vellum sticker too. So we'll get this down. And I just love clipboards. I had so many study notes and so many things. Okay, I'm going to pull this kind of out to here. Okay, so I like that. And then my feather here, I do love the feather. It also, one of the reasons that I really love that feather is it really sets that off. But it reminded me of like a quill pen, but also like maybe it's from Mr. Owl, his little feather. He's been busy studying and he dropped his feather. So this is going to go about here, I think. So I want to put that maybe like there. Okay, and then that's going to go around there. So I don't think I'm going to put anything else underneath there. I'm just going to get this glued down really well, because my dictionary page needs to go over top of this. So I'm doing this, today's Easter Sunday here in Canada. And I'm having my dinner tomorrow on Monday. So Bobby and the girls, with M's boyfriend, and my dad, my stepmother are all coming. Gonna have a nice ham with scalloped potatoes. Haven't made scalloped potatoes in ages. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking that that's going to go there. Now, with this, I could have just put that, could have put something from here, but I don't think, if it was a bigger surface, I could use this for, I'm going to save that just for collage. But I am going to very lightly go around the edge of this, just so that it'll blend in a bit more with the overall collage. And then think about, is there anything else I want to add to that? So I think that'll go good there. So I'm just going to get this down. And then pull that right over, I think. Like so. Okay, I'm liking that. But I think we need maybe a little bit of something else. What do you think? What do you think? I did pull out a little sticker book I got at Michael's a long time ago. And it has these wee little stickers. And I had thought about, I need something just for right there. Oh, look, I can put a little butterfly in there. I think that would work. Something, I'm gravitating towards that butterfly. Or we could put a little flower. I like this flower. No. It has too much white in it. Now, grow. What about a circle with the butterfly? If I was going to use a circle, I probably want a layer. Oh, it's not coming off. I think it's stuck to the paper. It's not cut all the way. Let's go back to the thing with me putting that butterfly is it has a white border, so it's going to stand out a bit more. But I do have some stickers that I keep using over and over again of butterflies that I picked up when I was in PEI, and they are on a transparent background. Oh yeah, okay. I think this will work really good. But I just need to get it at the right angle. The right angle. Thinking that it's not gonna stick out from the background. Would this one be too big? Let's see. No, I think this would work good. So there. All right, so I'm happy with that one. So there's my first one of study. And I'm just gonna go clean up my desk and come back to do the Rolodex one. See you soon. Okay everyone, I'm back and I'm just noticing that my battery isn't, my iPad's running out of battery, so I may have to come back later. So in the meantime, between my first little stint here and my second, I have created a collage to give away. I had a bunch of these postcard bases that came from, where did they come from? I've had them for a while, sweets are an orange. And I thought, well, that would be good. Every now and again, I will make a collage on a postcard for giveaway. And then you can use it however you kind of want to have it. So that's going to be, this is going to be the giveaway, this one here. A lot going on with that one. So now back to the Rolodex, and we'll see. I just have to keep an eye on that. So I did take that mathematical page that I showed you, and I just put it on the Rolodex as a base. So I just kind of put that on as my bottom. And then when I was rooting through stuff, I found this napkin. So I've already taken off the 2 plies that are on the back. And I thought, well, let's see how this works. So I want this mushroom to kind of stay on. Okay, so I've got that on. And I can let the glue stick dry. And then, but I'm not going to. I'm going to grab a little bit of my sandpaper and just kind of go around the edge and fray it off a little bit. You could cut it off or pull it. Oops, I'm just looking at my battery. I'm gonna have to come back. See you in a minute. Okay, so I've got 74% now, so hopefully that's gonna. And while I was charging, I just cleaned up a little bit around here, and I took the overhang of this napkin off. So my focal point, I want to use one of these little slides that Valentina had sent me in Happy Mail, and I just felt that this would be a good mock of the specimen slide. So I did do one of the Tim Holtz die cuts. This is the specimen slide that's in the die cut, which I felt was too big to go on there. It would take up the whole card. I mean, if that's what I wanted. But so then I actually just made a small one. I just did this myself. Just did try to do a mock one, and then I cut the inside out with my precision knife. And then I just took my bone folder, and where there was these little lines on the sides there, I just took my bone folder and I just made some little lines. And I thought, well, that might work. And I thought that was quite cute there as a little sort of specimen. But then my eye saw this, and I thought I would like to use one of these little slides. So that's kind of where I got to. I thought that I would distress it a little bit, and it is quite rigid plastic. You can still see where it says Color Fast 06 1995, I'm assuming. So this is definitely vintage, and we just want to give it that little feel. So when I was thinking about using this little specimen slide, I went to my little butterfly stickers, and I thought that the butterfly would look cute in there. So that's what I was going to do with the specimen, or the slide, because it looks, I mean, it fits really good. Well, then my eye rested on this little illustration that I had on my desk, and I thought, no, I'd like to use this little guy. So that's what I'm going to do. I put some double-sided tape on it, and I'm going to try to center it so that it's centered in as best I can get it in my slide. So I'm kind of happy there. And then I just put some double-sided tape on the bottom here too, to hold it in the slide. Like so. I thought that would work good. And then I'll just cut off this little extra on the back. So then I thought, okay, so that's going to be there. But what I wanted to do, which I was going to do before I put that there, I thought I would do a little bit of stamping kind of around the edge. So I've pulled out my Stays-On glue, or glue ink, because the Stays-On works well with the plastic. You just got to be really careful not to move or press too hard. So if I just, oh, and then you can barely see that. That's really cool on the edge there. So then if I do the same thing, but on this side, I'll try to get the numbers. Oh yeah, like that. And then I kind of thought, so I have this here, this specimen, the word specimen. So I thought that that would work because I'm doing a study of nature. So I need to have my specimens. And I'm not sure if glue will, this Elmer's glue will stick this down, oops, to the plastic. But if it doesn't, I will get out some other glue, but we'll try it. Okay, so we cut out there. I'm having an awful time with my videoing today. So I got my little mock specimen slide with my photo slide. I put a little, put the flower border on there, so I think that's very cute. And then I noticed this on my desk, which was from the Memorydex one, that I'm thinking, I punched that out with a border punch. So I'm thinking that I will add that kind of to the side there. I really like how that peeps out. If I get my glue going here. I apologize today. My video just seems choppy, and maybe it's just me. I feel quite tired today. Although I did get a good night's sleep. I've been sleeping with this wee little thin pillow just between my knees part, and it seems to be helping my hip when I'm sleeping. So maybe that's a bonus. All right, so then I just have that there that's peeking through. Then I found this little tag, and this tag I think came from a Digi download that I've had a long time from Tracy Fox. She does a lot of these little tags and specimen type stuff. So I'm kind of thinking to have that peeking out from the side, and then I have some flowers and some butterflies. But first, I want it to just stamp a little bit on this background with this specimen stamp. That out of the way before so I'm just gonna stamp it up, see what it looks like, and then stamp it there so that you can just see the specimen and the words. I can see it a little bit better, I think, than what you can see it. And then I think I will use this circle one. I do like this one. So we'll stamp that up, go lightly, and then add that to it, which I think just adds, it all adds to the background. I won't see a lot of that because I'm going to have this and my little tag sticking out from there, my little specimen tag. I might also take maybe this number and go on the edge there, like so. Oh, I like that. And then I'm Agent 1929. I imagine there's a lot of Agent 1929s. Right there. Okay, so I'm just going to get this tag down first, I guess. I'm not going to be able to slip it underneath later. And I think I'll put this down. I was just thinking while I was talking. I think I'll get this down with double-sided tape. I don't know where the day's gone. I've been kind of working at this most of the day, and it's, gosh, it's almost 4 o'clock, I think. So I just don't know where time goes. For sure. I did try to straighten up a little bit in between in between filming here. I vowed to myself that this year, and I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, I'm not making any promises to myself, but I'm thinking maybe in May, I'm going to take a couple days off, a Thursday, Friday off, and really try to organize and straighten out this craft room. But it's a big job. It's going to be a big job. All right, so I'm thinking I want to have a little bit of space there for, I have a flower I want to put there. And I'm kind of thinking right there. Okay, it's down. And then I'll just stick this down. Okay, and I have a little butterfly, this butterfly that I was going to put in the specimen slide. It's very windy outside. I can get it off here. Okay, so I'm thinking, put that there. I like that. And then I have these little thistles. I love thistles. And I had this little one. I was disappointed because there's supposed to be 6 sheets of these, and there was only 5. And I'm not disappointed because, you know, of any kind of, mainly because I just like them so much. So I was hoping to have another sheet of these. Oh, I'd like to have one maybe closed. It was just blank. There was just nothing on the sheet. I think I'll use this one. And I could have put a 4-leaf clover on here too. A lucky shamrock. I'm not going to be able to tuck it underneath, so I'll just have to go like that. Like so, and then I can just cut that off. So I like that. And then maybe a little something on the slide, like that little leaf. I think that works good. Just that one right there, that little 4-leaf clover. Be reminded that it's nice to be lucky. I think I will. I'm going to just use this one. And I think that's probably done. Like so. Oh, I like how that worked. I like how that, you like that? And then I distress, but because this is water-based and this is plastic, it's just rubbing off. But anyways, I'm really happy with that. So I think I'm going to stop there because I really like it. And, right, so what have we done today? So we've done, let's get rid of all this stuff. Got that one done. I've got my Memorydex one done, which I really love. And then I have a postcard for giveaway. So I'm happy with that. I did want to show a couple pieces of Happy Mail. I keep forgetting to show them, but I received a card from my friend Tina, and it's quite a it's very interesting. It has all these bits and bobs. Way to go, today's about you, spoil yourself. And then she just writes, I didn't sign the card before I sent it off. It holds my warmest thoughts, invisible but true. If you find a time you need to brighten someone's day, then take this card, sign it, and send it on its way. So I thought that was cute. I like that. And then I got a card from Joy Bells from Australia. So she was on a little trip to Victoria. And she went to the Lost Trades Fair and also sent me a little bit of ephemera. So thank you so much, Joy. This just made my day. I absolutely love that picture. And it's just really special for you to take the time to send me a card on your journey. So thank you for including me on your journey. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry it seemed to be a little bit disjointed. Again, if you did want to join the challenge, you can email me with my email below, or you can join the Mich Crafty community group, and there's a free file download there. But I hope you stay safe and well until we meet again. Bye for now.